call it
Around the Movie Block with The Rock.
Rock and I have talked about The Irishman for over a year. With such an epic cast of the icon legends, Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Al Pacino, and then Ray Romano and Harvey Keitel, directed by the iconic Martin Scorsese. Great cast, great director. So we finally saw the movie, The Irishman, in Manhattan.
Right.
So Rocco, tell our fans what you thought of The Irishman.
Yes, The Irishman, directed by Martin Scorsese, starring Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and Joe Pesci. It tells the story of mob hitman Frank the Irishman Sheeran, played by De Niro, who recalls his possible involvement with the slaying of Jimmy Hoffa, played by Pacino. The thing that struck me about the movie right away is the fact that this is definitely the funniest Scorsese movie ever. Like, you don't normally think of his kind of gangster movies as being funny. You felt little bits of that here and there with the movies of the past, particularly Goodfellas, but you really get a sense of that in this movie. Like, you really get the sense that it has this kind of breezy, kind of humorous tone often. And even like with the most mundane, seemingly mundane scenes in the movie, it's just a lot of funny stuff happens, and people are just like, we were in the theater, people were laughing, people were like just having such a good time with it, and you really felt that good vibe through the whole thing, and that's quite an achievement for a movie that deals with such grisly subject matter. I mean, you're basically dealing about a mob hitman who bumps off people. I mean, most people wouldn't think that that would be comedic at all, but you know, Scorsese, to his incredible skill as a director, you know, he's been doing movies since the 70s, and he manages to make the impossible possible. He manages to take the most gritty, grisly subject matter about the most unlikable people imaginable, and he manages to imbue it with a sense of humanity that it's really celebrated by people. People love his movies, and you will absolutely love The Irishman. It is definitely probably the best Martin Scorsese movie since Goodfellas, in my opinion. I really do feel like he's created another masterpiece movie, and that's not a term I throw out there hyperbolically. Like, he really delivers the goods with this, and I say that because just look at the scenes with the two titans, De Niro and Pacino. Just the scenes with them alone really shows this kind of extraordinary kind of level of panache that is in this movie. Like this, like the way that the two characters rip off each other, and it's just so hilarious. Especially Al Pacino. Al Pacino definitely has come back in a big way with this movie. He hasn't done many movies in recent years, but he really makes a big impression in this, even more so than De Niro. De Niro's the star, like the one with the most screen time, but Pacino really steals the show totally. Like, Pacino makes Jimmy Hoffa, a pretty iconic, person in history, even more larger than life than he already was, and that's no small feat. Like, he imbues it with that typical Pacino, over the top, larger than life kind of screen presence that you see in so many of his movies, and he really delivers that. I mean, even now, in his twilight years, like, he still has that kind of gravitas and that presence that he has, and it's just nothing short of amazing. I think just alone, like, in terms of like best supporting actor for Al Pacino, he definitely is a shoo-in to win the best supporting actor Oscar. Like, I just don't see anybody being able to compete with him alone. I mean, much less this movie. You have any thoughts?
It was just such a pleasure to watch the two titans, like you mentioned, Pacino and De Niro, together. I mean, it was magical. And thinking about this, back in 1970, we're going back 49 years. A young actor named Al Pacino met a young director named Martin Scorsese. And throughout their great, legendary careers, for one reason or another, they never worked together until this movie. And to have the great director Scorsese directing the great actor Pacino, there's an old saying, better late than never.
Oh, definitely.
And it was like, when I heard that Pacino was involved in this, I said, it's going to be... That's why, to me, this movie makes it better than Goodfellas, because it's great. Goodfellas was a great movie. Departed was great, but Goodfellas, as great as Goodfellas was, it didn't have that epic combination of De Niro and Pacino.
Yes.
And when they were together, just those two in a scene, it was like you were watching acting royalty together. It was so magical.
Yeah.
You were so in watching that movie. Never in the 3.5 hours did I say, "Oh, when's it going to be over?"
Exactly.
I wanted it to go on and on and on. And even some of the side actors who had small roles, like I'll give you an example: Bo Dietl.
Bo Dietl,
Bo Dietl was in a scene with the watermelons, which was hysterical.
Yes.
And Bo Dietl's been in a couple movies, Departed.
Yeah.
He's more known for his role on the Imus in the Morning Show.
Yeah.
But he was phenomenal.
He was. I mean, this was like his first movie where he played like a real character. I mean, basically he was playing himself in other movies, but he really is a good character actor in this.
And the other actor, I don't know who he was, but he played the guy that was a fierce rival of Al Pacino in the Union.
Yeah.
And a couple of their scenes, you could tell how much the two of them hated each other.
Yeah.
But the way Pacino was busting on him about the way he dressed, the fact he was late, and then he came back at him, "Why are you wearing a suit in the middle of the summer?" It was just classic. You just didn't want it to end.
Yeah, it's just like this little, like the things that would have come off mundane in the presence of a lesser director or a lesser screenwriter, but he manages to make every little moment special. Like every little moment had humor, had verve, it had a presence, and that's how you know that you're working with have really polished people working
like
together.
the tough guy Jimmy Hoffa eating ice cream and always having his ice cream.
That's a nice touch.
And a meeting. It was just great. I mean, and people on Netflix, you're going to be in for a treat.
Yeah.
Because you can stop it, you can pause it.
Yes.
You don't have to, 3.5 hours.
Yes.
But anyone that loves film.
Yes.
Go see The Irishman.
Get Netflix for this. If you don't have Netflix already, get it for this. It's going to come out on Netflix on November 27th, the day before Thanksgiving. It'll be the perfect thing to watch during the Thanksgiving holiday. It'll be the perfect thing to watch during the December months if you're, stuck at home watching something to watch. Like, this is showing that this is going to be the future, that streaming is the future with these types of movies, particularly with these types of movies, because the problem with movies now is that movies have gotten more commercial. They want things that are safer bets, that are more, action-packed, things that are always guaranteed to be successful, things based on familiar intellectual properties that sell merchandise. But this classic kind of, really human story, this can have a home now on Netflix or Hulu or any of the other streaming services that now exist. And this is really like an incredible moment for movies.
So what I want to know, Rocco.
Yes.
I know you loved it.
Yes.
But does it rise to the level of 5 stars? The audience wants to know. Will Rocco Passafuime give The Irishman 5 stars? Very rare.
Yes.
But does this movie rise to that epic level?
I'm going to say 2 words. Heck yeah. Heck, absolutely. This definitely is a 5 out of 5 star movie. Perfect score. I like I said, I knew this was going to be excellent, but I didn't know how excellent. And this is like a long movie. Usually long movies can kind of, sink under the weight of how long they are. None of that happened with this movie, and I found that really is a testament to Scorsese's decades of doing movies and really finding like the right verb. And I think in the hands of a lesser director or a lesser screenwriter, this could have probably been a little flawed, but he manages to, deliver something new. Like yes, it has all the familiar, Scorsese trademarks of humor and, of grisly actions and, fantastic music soundtrack and all that kind of stuff. But the thing that he adds to this that really makes this a special movie in his wonderful career is the fact that he manages to create a gangster story where there's a real sense of, there's like a kind of real emotion to it. Like at times, particularly with the scenes with Sharon, De Niro's character, and Jimmy Hoffa, it felt like what my generation calls a bromance. Like I really felt like it was like a male, like a buddy movie at times, and I find you don't find that in a gangster movie. A gangster movie, everything's very business as usual. There's a lot of brutality, But to find a moment where these two guys have like this kind of odd affection for one another, that's something we've not seen before.
All right, Rock, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
I'm going to make a prediction, and I'm going to see what you think.
What?
I am predicting right here and now.
Yes.
The Irishman is going to take 4 major Oscars. Best Picture,
yes.
The Irishman.
Definitely.
Best Director, Martin Scorsese.
Definitely.
Best Actor, Robert De Niro. Best Supporting Actor, Al Pacino.
Yes.
My prediction, this movie is going to walk away with 4 Oscars. What do you think?
I think that's a good conservative estimate, because I actually think that there could be more than just
But they're going to win those 4 major categories.
The basic 4, I think they have a good, solid lock. I think they have other potential ones, like Best Adapted Screenplay. That's another one that, because you look at every Martin Scorsese movie, the scripts are good. So I think that like it's definitely going to do major cleanup at the Oscars. I mean, I just don't see much. I mean, yes, it's very early right now at award season with the movies, but I already don't see much that's going to compete with this, honestly.
Absolutely. In the headlines the following day, will they say The Irishman whacked the competition?
Definitely. So yeah, thank you very much. And like I said, The Irishman comes out on Netflix November 27th. Must see. Is worth the wait.
Folks, if you love film,
yes,
go see The Irishman.